Hi everybody, it's Burke again, and this is part 2 of my story with anxiety and depression. And this story picks up again not long after the first part. This starts in November of 2012, just a few months after I had graduated from high school. Now, this time in my life was a little bit different. Things were pretty normal to begin with. My senior year of high school was great. I had good friends that I spent a lot of time with, and I just really enjoyed what I was doing. I graduated and I got a job working as a nurse assistant at a local assisted living. And nursing is the career that I wanted to go into at the time, and so it was good. And at that place I met and made new friends, and I was getting ready for some big changes in my life. Later that year, I was supposed to leave on a full-time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, something that I had planned on doing for a long time. And at this point in my life, I started to have feelings for another individual. And all those issues that I had before that were tied around the girl in the first part came back, and it hit me hard in November 2012, just a couple months before I was supposed to leave on my mission. The symptoms hit full blown again. It was like post-traumatic stress. It was so bad. The symptoms were the same. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, couldn't sit still, couldn't watch TV, couldn't focus on anything, that took more than a couple of seconds of my attention. It was just such a struggle, and I had this mission coming up. And in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, all able young men are asked to serve a 2-year mission, and it was something that I was planning on doing. I love my church and was planning to do it, and it was something that I wanted to do. It's something that I did voluntarily, and there are no consequences if I didn't go. My mission is something I'll talk about more later on, but at this point, I had all that anxiety hit again, and I was so worried about my mission coming up, and honestly, I was so surprised to have issues again, because like I said before, I thought I was done. I thought that, my experience with anxiety was finished. I was really struggling with this girl because I had all these same feelings that I had before come back, and I got really anxious. I was so afraid because I had this mission coming up, and I thought, well, what do I do? My parents are involved again, and they know what's going on with me. We thought, well, I should just go. If I go, I'll be away from certain social situations, and maybe I just would be fine. I wasn't. And my mission was a really stressful thing because I was going to be put in these situations with lots of people that I didn't know. They were sending me to Oklahoma, somewhere I had never been. I was supposed to live with somebody that I didn't know, who was, my mission companion. And I was so nervous about that. But anyway, I decide to go. And I go on my mission, and they send you to this training center that you go to for a few weeks before they send you to your mission destination, and mine was Oklahoma City. At that point, I'd been having the anxiety for 2 months already. And when I got to the missionary training center, I crashed. Because at that point, the depression actually hit. I think this time maybe because, it was the second time. I already was, it'd been a year since the first event, but I think I was still kind of worn out from that. It took a lot out of me. I ended up coming home from the missionary training center after 10 days because I just couldn't deal with it. I was so nervous. On a mission, they only let you call your family twice a year, and they only let you write home once a week. So I was without my support system entirely. So I ended up coming home, and this time it felt very public because when you do this, you know, your friends are involved and your family and people I knew all knew that I was going on a mission and I was excited to do it. And I ended up coming home 10 days later. I remember getting home and I spent a lot of time by myself because I was down. I felt beat by this thing. And I wasn't sure what it was going to take for it to end. And I felt like my hopes and dreams were falling apart. And it took everything I had to just keep going, I guess. At this time, there's a song that really fits how I felt. And the lyrics go like this: let the wars begin, let my strength wear thin, let my fingers crack, let my world fall apart, train the monkeys on my back to fight, let it start tonight. When my world explodes, when my stars touch the ground, falling down like broken satellites. The next verse is very important. But let your love be strong, and I don't care what goes down. Let your love be strong enough to weather through the thunder clouds. Fury and thunderclap, like stealing the fire from your skies. All that I am, hanging on, all of my world, resting on your love. And that love referred to God's love for me, my family's love for me, my love for them. And all of my world was resting on their love. And that was the power that helped get me through. At about this point, it had been about 3 months that I was having difficulty, and there was no signs of it letting up. I started seeing a counselor I had seen before again. I struggled with my job. I went back to my assisted living job after my mission, and I really had a hard time. I could barely get through a shift without calling my parents multiple times, having to have them talk me through what I needed to do and help me with the stresses that I was feeling. At this time, the depression really hit hard, and I really felt absent-minded and distracted all the time. And, you know, I lost my personality. I lost, you know, the native cheery things about myself. And, you know, at this point, I'm months in, 6-7 months, and I felt like this was who I was now. It had been so long, I was starting to forget what it was like to feel normal. I had no idea how long it was gonna last. I just knew I had to keep trying my best to fake my way through. You know, I was very socially withdrawn. I didn't spend a lot of time with my friends because I was afraid that they might see how how I felt. They might see the pain that I was in, and they might misjudge that. And that might make them scared. So I avoided them. Spent a lot of time with just my family, my parents especially. I felt like they were the only ones who, really could understand and still love me through the whole thing. And so I felt very comfortable with them, and that really helped me. I also had some good friends that probably didn't know the full extent of what was going on, but were there. I also had a particular friend who came home from his mission early with bipolar disorder, and he would call me every day, and we would talk, we would study together. Sometimes I didn't get up to meet him, but he was always so good to be there and to talk to me, and I appreciated it so much. Sometimes it was the only thing I looked forward to that day. And life slowly began to normalize again. This incident kind of resolved similarly to the first. Things kind of slid back into normal. But the problem with that was I wasn't growing. I wasn't getting any better. My life wasn't improving. I was, 19 years old at this point. Still living in my parents' house. Barely being able to make it through my job, but things slowly got better. I began to relax. That girl that I had feelings for that somewhat triggered it, she was out of my life, and things just slid back into normal. And I was okay. At this point, it'd been close to a year, and I thought, hey, I'm good again. I'm fine. Anxiety's gone. Maybe I have nothing to worry about now. And I felt like, hey, let's try this mission thing again. And I did. I and my counselor, we decided that I should try serving my mission again. And I began to prepare. And in December of 2013, I would leave. And I thought things would be fine. Things had been normal. I didn't have any girls in my life I was worried about. But the anxiety hit when I was back on my mission. And I was about ready to come home again. But this time, I wasn't ready to give up so easily. And I had people there that knew my situation. And I was going to do my very best to serve as long as I could on my mission because it's what I wanted. And that's what I'll discuss in part 3 of my story, is my experience serving 14 months as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I hope you found something uplifting in this part of the story and something that you can turn to or that you can direct others to as they struggle. Please check out part 3 as I have more to tell about my story.